I'm Miller Torrance.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And we are here to discuss the history of calculus.
Hey Miller, have you ever wondered where the history of calculus comes from and why we study it?
Not really. Math isn't my favorite subject.
You should really look into the history of calculus. I'm finding all this stuff fascinating.
I don't know. I'd rather play basketball than do this stuff.
Wait, actually, I read somewhere that if you read this stuff, you can become a better basketball player.
No way!
Yeah, way!
Okay, but where should we start?
Wow, we definitely should not be playing that music in class.
Yeah, sorry. So I'm Miller Torrance.
I'm Elizabeth.
And we're here to discuss the history of calculus with you today.
Hey Miller, have you ever wondered about where the history of calculus comes from and why we study it?
Honestly, not really. Math isn't my favorite subject.
Well, you should really look into the history of calculus. I mean, I'm finding all of this stuff fascinating.
I don't know. I'd rather play basketball than read all this stuff.
Wait, actually, I read somewhere that if you read this stuff, you can become a better basketball player.
No way.
Yeah, way.
Okay, but where should we start?
Well, there are several ancient figures that we should make note of. These are Pythagoras, Euclid, Archimedes, Sir Isaac Newton, Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz, and James Gregory.
What's with all the weird names?
I'm not really sure. Just go with it.
All right. I recognize Newton, though. Is that from Newton's Law?
Yeah! Newton is considered to be one of the most influential mathematicians and scientists. He is most known for his publication of the Philosophia Naturalis Principia Mathematica.
Okay, but what else did Newton do besides publish a book with the title in Latin?
Well, before we go into Newton, let's establish the 5 different branches of calculus that were discovered. Those are ancient notions, pre-calculus, early calculus, big-time calculus, and later calculus.
I don't know what that all entails, but I know that calculus includes limits, functions, derivatives, integrals, as well as series.
Exactly! And good memory, calculus definitely consists of series. That is known as infinitesimal calculus, and there are 2 major branches.
Are they differential and integral calculus?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we are at the top math section, so it does make sense that we know all this stuff.
That's the attitude.
Okay, so can you go back to the 5 different branches of calculus? They are ancient notions, pre-calculus, early calculus, big-time calculus, and later calculus?
Yeah, so basically those genres fit into 4 major categories, which divides the history of calculus into time periods, each including famous mathematicians from that time and what their contribution to calculus was. Hey, you want to write them on the board?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so these time periods are the ancients, the forerunners, the early moderns, and the later moderns.
Okay, so I think I know something about the ancients that include the Pythagoras, Euclid, and Archimedes.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Those were the most influential during the time period of 580 to 212 BC. And Pythagoras is considered to have been the first person to have discovered math. He is famous for the mathematical proof and the Pythagorean theorem. Furthermore, he's responsible for the discovery of irrational numbers.
It says here that there was not much known about Euclid. People aren't even sure if he was a real man. But people seem to credit him for the book The Elements, which is a book that consists of geometrical elements and theorems.
True. The most influential figure from the period of discovery known as the Forerunners is Pierre Fermat. He is responsible for developing the method to find the maximums and minimums, setting the derivative equal to 0. Hey Miller, remember when we did that on that test before, I think it was Christmas break or something?
Was that the snowman test?
I think it might have been.
Then no.
Oh, that's okay, don't worry, because we're all here to learn. It's a supportive environment. Yeah, so the next important section is the early moderns, which consists of the infamous Isaac Newton and also Leibniz. Newton discovered calculus when his college closed, but apparently Leibniz also claimed to discover calculus on his own accord.
Wow. Drama.
I know, right? Wait, Miller, I kind of hear some music from a distance. Do you?
Wait, what? What music?
I don't know, but Miss C really likes to play Pandora Station sometimes, and I don't know, I think I kind of hear some John Mayer.
I thought she wasn't supposed to be. Oh, it's Miss C.
Oh my god. This is a great song, though. Working against me. Oh, it makes me so sad every time.
I just can't focus on my math homework.
I know. Maybe we should play some country maybe next time.
Yeah, we'll switch it up.
Okay, good idea.
Okay, so, can we talk? Okay, no, so it says Lebanese. It says here that Lebanese is known to have discovered the notions that we all use, like dy, dx, and integral symbols. That's kind of annoying to draw, the little squiggly thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and the equal sign, too. Who are the late moderns and the most recent mathematicians, though? It doesn't seem that they are very modern.
Well, there are quite a few, but the one that was most known is Bernard Riemann. So, like the Riemann sum, do you remember that? He's the guy that discovered it.
Can we talk a little more about Newton? I feel like he did more than just what we mentioned.
Yeah, we can, because besides his book, published in 1687, Newton used calculus to make sense of the motion and dynamic change in the changing world around us, such as the orbits of planets and the motion of fluids.
Did he encounter any problems?
Well, it appears he did, Miller, actually. Yeah, because it was easy for him to calculate the average slope of a curve, but there was no method for determining the exact slope at any one point.
All right.
So, yeah, Newton and Leibniz calculated a derivative function, which gives you the slope at any point of a function. And that's called the instantaneous change, which is diff calc.
Okay, but what about integral calculus, or the opposite of differentiation? Isn't that with finding the area under a curve using rectangles? Which, oh fudge! It also says here that Newton's fundamental theorem of calculus states that differentiation and integral calculus are inverse opposites.
True. Something that's interesting is that Newton did not publish his ideas right away because he was worried that he'd be made fun of for such ridiculous thoughts and theorems.
Well, it doesn't matter now because he's famous.
Hey Miller, as much as I love talking about calculus, want to go see if any of this stuff actually does help your basketball game?
Sure, race you there.